All right, all right, all right. Well, welcome to Money and Mindset with Dr. Steph Ardrey, known as Dr. Money, and
Thank
Dr.
you,
Thyonne Gordon, known
everyone.
as Story Genius. Hey, what's happening, my sis?
Good morning. Good morning. A little chilly here this morning. So I had my little hat on while I was running and going out this morning. But other than that, it's pretty good. Everything's looking good here. It's clear. Let's put it that way. The wind has blown out the smog. So that's the good thing about the cold.
Yeah, well, it's so excellent because the beach, we've been going through the rains and hurricanes, and you know how after all those heavy rains, then it finally makes way to a clear, sunny day, and then it's hot. Well, that's that day. So I'm
Yeah, that's
able
what
to
we're.
be back on the beach at the hotel. I'm not up at Pelican Lookout because we were able to book that dinner that I'll talk about later. So I needed to stay closer to the
Oh,
hotel to make all
wonderful.
those things happen.
So where are you? I see a bush. I don't, where are
So
you
I'm
with
at
that?
White Sands. I'm at the hotel up on the balcony that I was using before.
Oh, okay, you're on the balcony. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were right down on the beach. I'm like, how'd you
No,
get
because too
that?
many people kept trying to photobomb me. I did my drop earlier. People kept interrupting me. Are we in the picture? I'm like, would y'all beat it? Like, beat it. What? Beat it.
It's funny because people are starting to show up there now. I think for Thanksgiving, they're probably going to have a lot of people there.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of people saying to me that they're going for Thanksgiving, which I thought was
Well, what
interesting.
happens is November ends hurricane season. So now it's going to be the best weather. So, that makes sense, right?
Okay, okay. All right. I was wondering why people were saying they were going. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, is Thanksgiving just a place to, is
No,
that a place
the
to go
thing,
for
yeah,
Thanksgiving?
the snow bunnies and stuff. So that's why the rates are highest from December through like February, March. And then they started getting big with the college age for spring break. So then that would take them through April and into May, and then the concert seasons was, so the beach will be rocking basically all year.
It all makes sense. Okay. And
Yeah,
me, I just go wherever I want to go whenever I feel like going. I don't even think, oh my gosh, it's hurricane season. I shouldn't.
right.
I'm just sort of like, I need sun. I'm going to Jamaica. And then I remember
Absolutely.
you telling me when we were there, like, this usually is the off season. And I'm like,
Right.
well, we're going to have a good time. And it's going to be great weather. And it was.
Absolutely. And so we were blessed with everything that we wanted to have happen.
We
And
planned it.
yes, and it's so amazing because, that's really our topic for today was or is when the universe works in your favor. And so you highlighted a couple of points to touch on property and business opportunities, farming, Zimbabwe, and then the lesson, which we'll always save to the end. But it's so like, wow, right? Because yesterday we said we were going to do a little thing different. We were going to have a guest today. But it turned out the universe said, no, you're not. And
Right.
so I forgot to call and tell the guest, hey, you're supposed to be on. So then I said, well, and I still hadn't looked at your notes, but this is how on point your notes have been, right? I just looked at your notes when I sat here and I'm like, how does she know? Because we literally just were able to make the changes so that Zimbabwe would be a possibility. Because I was disappointed that it wasn't going to be. And so I'll tell that little story and then I'll pass the mic back over to you.
Well, wait a minute. So you're going to be going to Zimbabwe. So and let me tell you this. When I wrote this outline, because we decided we were going to do this, and I thought, well, Stephanie's in school studying, which, yeah, that's like another story. But so let me just put some kind of.
Under the bus? Was that like a little? Was that fun? I think somebody just threw a firebomb at me. Ouch! Ouch! Ouch!
So what I thought was I'll be helpful and put together an outline of topics we can talk about and toss around so she won't have to do additional homework. This wouldn't be her homework. So I made this my homework and I put together a little outline. I had no idea where we were going to be here in week 3 and that everything would just flow the way it flowed. So when the universe works in your favor, and now you're about to tell us a story about our wonderful, magical place where we are going to conjure up something for others to share as well.
Yes.
I can't wait. Tell me what happened, because I didn't think you were going to get an opportunity
Exactly.
to go back there.
So what happened was, of course, when AJ joined, AJ's like, look, I'm on vacation. It's my birthday. So Dr. Money, no business. So I'm oozing with all of the opportunities. And then she looking at me like, Dr. Money.
Like, no.
I already told you. So, okay. Then after she's hung out with me for a few days at Pelican Lookout, then now she's bubbling up with, I'm like, no. You told Dr.
Come and think of it. Wasn't she supposed to be a guest? She's been slipping. She's been sneaking away from us.
Right. So she on vacation. She is having her time. So then she was like, okay, this last week before you leave, let's kind of do some fun stuff. And I said, you're right. I'm going to plan some days that is just going to be having fun with you. So she wanted to do this little boat, lobster on this darn catamaran thing. And I was like, okay, fine. Because wait, no, she made a mistake first. Let me tell you this one first. She goes, oh, I want to go swim with the dolphins. Right. So she said, I literally looked over my glasses and said, that'll be a no. And then I said, and trust me, you don't want me to go swimming with you and the dolphins.
Nope.
Like,
no dolphins.
Dolphins will eat us. Because Dr. Money will cut up. So yeah, we can't do that. So she found this thing. But then our time started getting pushed. The kids accidentally didn't give their dad the message that we wanted dinner on Monday. So by the time he realized it, the chef was off. So we couldn't go Monday. And then we had the plans for today. Well, for me, really, I wanted to bump the plans for today anyway. To me, Zimbali was the priority, but she don't know about Zimbali. So she only know what she want to know. And so you can't just bum rush somebody's plan. But right. I told the universe that, I really do want to get back to Zimbali. So wouldn't it work that the ocean wouldn't allow you to go off on that little piece of thing? And I told her, she says, well, I'm going to call them and ask them. I'm like, you ain't got to ask them for me. It's a no. I don't care if they are going out. I won't be on it.
This is when the universe works in your favor. When the ocean says no, you're supposed to listen. Now that's for sure.
Right. So then I was able to reach Mark, and he was so disappointed that he had missed the other reservation for Monday. So then he was like, I was like, Mark, is there a chance that we could get in for today? He says, not only can you get in for today, I'm going to come and personally pick you up and bring you. Right. Like I'm coming to get you.
Well, you know what's funny? I think the farmer called me a couple of days ago. I picked up the phone thinking it was you because I recognized the 856, but I was like, why wouldn't she WhatsApp me? So I was thinking maybe you didn't have internet. So I just picked up the phone, and I couldn't understand him, first of all, because I'm not there in that tone. And I was actually trying to prepare for a class I was teaching. So when I started hearing that heavy accent and all that, I'm like, I don't have time for this right now. And then he said Zimbali, and I'm thinking, but neither owner had that heavy accent. I could understand both owners. And so I figured it must have been the farmer or the chef or somebody that I left my card with.
Right.
So tell them I said hello when you get there.
Absolutely. I'm so excited. And now AJ is looking forward to it because I've told her, I'm like, once you have this food and this presentation, your mouth is going to explode. And your whole body is going to thank you for it. Because, I mean, oh my gosh, that food was so good. And not only was it so good, the presentation and just the everything. And then even just being able to go from there and think, wow, what can we do collectively, and how many opportunities and business and everything emerge. And just even as a couple, their graciousness of saying, look, yeah, whatever you're doing, we don't see you as, competition. In fact, we'll open up our resources and help you, accelerate what you're doing, just because we've gone through building a beautiful facility and lessons learned and all of that stuff. And so that was so amazing because when we think about it, who knew that all these dots were going to connect the way that they did? And that's, it's so interesting, Story Genius, because I was having a conversation with Sterling last night. He was feeling a little way. And it was because, you know, as he embarks upon this next leg of his journey, his entertainment career, now switching from an actor to a musician, he has good friends that he grew up with who are videographers. Like, if his crew was down, they could really support and help push him forward. But instead of being down, like, they just totally have been ghosting him. And so recently he did his performance, and it literally was in Orange County, like where he has grown up, like where all of his friends live. Like, they don't have to do anything but drive 5 minutes to come and support their friend. And not only did they not even show up, they didn't even shoot him out like high five or congrats, or like they just completely ghosted him.
Yeah, that can really make somebody feel some kind of way. So I'll have to talk to Mr. Sterling, because that's okay. That just means those are not the people in your corner. Those are not the people for you. You'll find the people that are for you along the way. And sometimes when the universe works in your favor, it clears a path for you. And that's probably what's happening for Sterling. It's a clearing. Exactly. It's just like we talked about, the rain came down and now you've got your nice sunny day. We've had all these winds out here, and now we've got this beautiful skyscraper to see. So the universe will clear that path for you. I wanted to go back a little bit and just talk about Zimbali. And I'm going to try to share the screen and see if I can share some of what we experienced there. Can you see that?
I can. Let me see. I can add it to the stream. There we go.
Okay, there we go. So this is some of the food we experienced at Zimbali. And Zimbali is a farm-to-table location that allowed us to just eat some of the fresh food. This was Chef Lisa showing us the difference between a lemon. I think that was the lemon. Can you see that stuff?
Their lemon, yeah, it's really big. It was their lemon, yeah.
Lemon, and it was the difference between a lemon and a grapefruit. But they are a farm. If there are no farms, there's no food. This was a refrigerator picture that they had some stickers on there. And just all the food they prepared. I had, I think, a snapper, which was just delicious. And Dr. Money had the curried shrimp, which was what was in that little bowl there. The food was just so delicious. You can see what we were enjoying. You can see the presentation here. And we had, 4 or 5 courses?
Yes. Each course was built on the prior and just with excellence. Like, I mean, they just laid it out.
Dessert, remember?
Everything.
What was this? This was breadfruit dessert?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It was, yes. Oh my goodness. It was just fabulous.
So the ambiance you can see in the background, this place is just a hidden jewel. And we were so fortunate to find it. Again, when the universe works in your favor, I think we shared this during the first or second week when Dr. Money had gone out and she was looking at some different land and the different land and the location. And as she looked at the land, she was conjuring up in her head this whole idea of a wellness spa that she had been talking about for a really, really long time. She had been talking about this wellness spa even in the States, but hadn't made that happen. And so when she saw the land, she saw that opportunity again, like, oh my gosh, this land could be the wellness spa and people could come here for fresh food and to get healthy and to heal their bodies. And I'm just sort of like, yeah, right. I'm like trying to work from Jamaica and I'm not trying to really build anything here, but she's kept seeing the vision. So even as she spoke the vision, I sat on my phone after she finished explaining what it was. And I thought, now, again, I wasn't being true to the whole business thing myself. We had been visiting a restaurant called Uncorked in Montego Bay. And I loved Uncorked and I loved their food. So I was thinking, well, we're going to the grill. Let me see if there's an Uncorked in the grill. So I was trying to get my little wine on and my food on. And as I searched for Uncorked, Zimbali came across. And I started looking through it and scanning. And I was like, this is what Dr. Money was just talking about. So I asked her to open up her and look for that. And she's, she was trying to do her homework and everything back then. And she
firebomb. That was a firebomb. Another firebomb. Ouch.
I'm just telling the story. So she was trying to do her homework and she's like, what does she have me looking up? Then she started looking it up and she says, how'd you find this? What? Wait a minute. This is what I was, this is mine. Wait. And so I said, isn't that interesting? It's in the grill. Maybe we can go there. We have to go there so you can see it because it's exactly what you just explained to me. And that's what took us on our adventure to find Zimbali. And I think it even went to the back of our head when we got to the grill because we were walking and enjoying the grill. And it kind of floated to the background, but it just floated back up in my head like, oh, we still got to do something. We got to find Zimbali. And so we found it. They came and picked us up. We went there for lunch. And oh my gosh, I wish I had gone for dinner because I just stuffed myself to the point where I felt sick after I ate because I was so full. I don't eat that much. And I just kept going course after course. And normally I intentionally cut my plate in half so I won't overeat and, to keep myself healthy. I couldn't cut my plate in half. I just kept eating. I was like, no, I'm supposed to stop and take half home and eat it later. But I just ate and ate. And I felt like I was going to pop.
Spread it out. So today we get to experience dinner because since you and I was there, they've closed lunch. And then they're only doing like dinner service, just, in a modified way because of COVID. So, I'll tell you about that.
Make sure to ask them if you can take a look at a room and take some pictures.
Okay, I'll do that as well. Yeah,
I wasn't able to get into
our follow-up. Yeah, because I told Mark that we have a couple of programs that we want to work on and bring back. And so now I have his direct number. So I won't have any issues reaching him going forward.
Wonderful. So this is all about how the universe opens up in your favor. And the story that Dr. Money told this morning is a perfect example of the universe opening up. And I'm certainly hoping we will be able to open up those opportunities for everybody, anybody who would want to go. And that Zimbali retreat is going to be amazing. Now, when we talk about how the universe works in your favor, the way this happens is to rest your mind so that you can actually grow into the universe working in your favor. I love that Sterling had the conversation with you last night because that's one way of releasing and beginning to rest your mind. Sharing with somebody, saying, I'm hurt. This didn't work for me. This opportunity fell through. It's okay to say those things. That's not being negative. That's being true to who you are. That's being true to your feelings, to your emotions. And you have to have a place where you can put that. And for a son to be able to put that into their mom or into their dad or into a sibling, that is a place to share that, this is hard for me, or, I don't seem to be able to figure this out. That is okay. Those are not negative statements. Those are your emotions. Those are your feelings. Those are saying, I need some support. I need some help. I need somebody to just listen to me or I need to cry. And I just need somebody to hand me a tissue and a shoulder to lean on while I boo-hoo and get it all out. Because I believe in crying, and I believe in crying with an agenda. Make sure you know what you're crying for. Them people, they did this to me. And let it out. Cry with an agenda. And that is cleansing.
Not to jump on your thought, but I'm going to tell you something, just kind of that and then the outcome. Basically, what happened was I was hanging out with AJ and we were down in her room. And I was just, something in my spirit literally just said, check in. Hey, baby, how are you? Because I had asked him some questions. And you know how he gets to responding to what mommy wants.
Right.
With goodness, I asked him, he responded to that. But at the bottom, I had said, how are you? But he missed the how are you because he jumped into, let me do mommy's response, right? Because I don't want this woman
on me.
So then he finally responded, and his response was like, I need to unpack that. So then I said, do you want to talk? And he said, sure. So then I was like, hey, AJ, I got to go to my room. I need to call Sterling. So I call him. We have our conversation. And it's a good conversation. So we get through the conversation. But here's what he said that was priceless. He says, Mommy, I know why God gifted you to be a teacher. You are an awesome teacher.
Oh,
And I got the lesson. I mean,
that's amazing.
oh
You
my
know,
God.
and that's why we're here if we can just impart one thing that will
Yes.
make a difference in somebody's life, that's it. You know, that's all we need.
That's it. It's that simple.
And that's amazing.
For a young man, think about that. This young man in his 20s trying to figure it out. He has a bunch of people that he could talk to. But, you know, me being Mama Bear, but also Mama Bear within. See, a lot of times where people mess up is that they don't listen. They start prescribing a solution when, as you articulated, sometimes the person doesn't have the vocabulary yet. They're unpacking their feelings.
Right.
Stop trying to be writing their script for them. Give them prompts and allow them to find their own words and their own voice, because that's where they get to grow.
Absolutely.
So you place the markers, but you also then allow them to reach the markers. You don't just create a narrative for them.
Right.
And that's where they can have the space to expand their mind and they can realize the growth. So to then, and that already goes all the way back to, I remember when I was pregnant with Sterling and I had lunch with a then friend, and he was saying, well, because I was uncertain, having just lost my mother, I just didn't imagine how would I get through life with a baby without my mom. Like my mom would have just been like, she just would have loved him to no end. Like how can I place that for him, that love that she would have just bestowed on him? And so my friend said at lunch, well, Stephanie, you're a businesswoman. He says, but you love to teach people. So if you put this in the context that you now have the ultimate pupil, and, you know, I love to learn and I love to teach. And it was like, as soon as he said that, I had such a burst of, I got this. Oh, I get to do what I know how to do. I can do that. I can start now. Like it just, it gave me permission, because he was like, that baby can't resist. And it was so funny because about 6 months in, because I would play the Walkmans on his belt, when he could start kicking, he started letting me know when it's like, look, lady, turn the Walkman off now. School is over today.
You know, and it's funny because that is the greatest opportunity for a parent, is to be a teacher and share whatever gifts they have with their child. But also, I think the other part of that is when we start talking about how the universe unfolds and you allow it to unfold, we can teach all that we want, believing this child is destined to be this or destined to be that, and I'm going to help them be that. But the key in teaching is allowing people, like you said, allowing that individual to come into their own, to put the path there. Like, here's a path, but there's some other paths you can actually go if you have the proper foundation, the proper skill set to navigate through these different paths. And Sterling is a great example because he's had an opportunity to live different types of lifestyles, and he lived in his dream of what he wanted to do, and he got to choose the path that he was going to go. So it's not just a teacher laying hands on somebody saying, this is what you're going to be. I'm going to make you all that you can be. Yeah, you're going to make them all that they can be based on who they are as an individual. And I think about even Mathia, the two of them growing up on the same trajectory, you know, out on the slopes together, doing different stuff. But, you know, it's like, wow, these kids are living the dream. I need me as a mom. I love my mom. I love my mom. If I was my mom, hey, I would be on a different trajectory for sure. But just seeing how they individuate and go their own pathway. And they do get so influenced. I know how much Mathia is influenced by myself and by her father. And so much so that she chose a school that I went to. She went to Howard. She chose a profession that her father was in. She studied engineering. But when she got on her own, which is the one, you know, even though she went to Howard and she probably wanted to go to Syracuse more, and would have hated that too, because she doesn't like the cold. That was really the big issue, was cold. She likes California. But I did push for her to go away to school so that she could really get that independence. And in going away, she was able to find herself. Engineering is not what she wanted to do. She wanted to get in a business school. She wanted to do something different than what we thought she might be able to do. And so she, once she got her footing, she had the skill set. She was like, I'm coming home. I don't want to live anyplace else. I like California. I want to live in California. I like living in a warm place. And so I was like, well, hey, long as you can get yourself a full ride like you did at Howard, But we were going to support her either way. And she did find the funds to come back home. She ended up going to Laverne. She studied accounting. She has her job now working in finance and doing that. And she'll blossom into something else. We just had a great weekend together this past weekend. And that's not exactly what she wants to do. So she's still finding her way. So it's not about us saying, we're going to teach you this and this is what you have to do. It's giving those foundational skills. And Dr. Money, that's the beauty of some of the work that you do in terms of foundation with understanding property management, understanding not just management, but finding it, property and business opportunities. Zambali Retreat, great example of this business opportunity that we're doing together. And getting the financial literacy, that's the skill set, that's the foundation. Talk a little bit about how that can work in your favor when you have the right foundation.
Absolutely. What happens, and I think, thank you, that is really so beautiful. I love hearing whenever you talk about Mathia, because she is a firecracker. And yes, I love everything about Mathia's spirit. These young people, they have wisdom, they're old souls. And when we allow that journey and recognize them as the individuals that they come with their own purpose, then you have an opportunity to assess where they're coming from. And I remember I used to always say, I was a mommy in training. I'm an MIT, because I ain't never been a mom before. So I'm going to learn from this kid how to teach him. I'm not going to just presume that he didn't come with a manual.
Right, exactly.
So, I got to figure it out, right? So when we think about foundation, what I realized that was very clear early on was that if I wanted to give my son some tools in his toolbox, I need to unpack things at a basic level. So one of the things that I unpacked for him, because I had enough experience to be able to make this statement confidently, is that I had studied enough businesses across industries and sectors. And there were some things that I noticed, is that it didn't matter what the industry or sector was, that literally it was down to the entrepreneur. Because in every business, I can find you somebody who's killing it, and I can find you somebody losing their shirt. Right. So if there's a possibility to kill it or to lose your shirt, then that means that there's not just the business. There's something else within how you go about it. So then now we understand what are the tools of business. And it's so funny because people often mistake that when they look at me because they are employee mentality, they're not entrepreneurs. They can only look at my resume in the terms of jobs that they may or may not have. So people will always say, well, Dr. Money, you do everything. And I'm like, no, I don't. I do the same things everywhere I go. So everywhere I go, because I know business requires capital, capacity, and customers. You are the expert in your industry. I don't need to be the expert in your specific discipline to be an expert in capital, capacity, and customers. That's my expertise. And every business requires it. And so that's, where it's like, so when you understand, so for Sterling, what I said, I used to say, baby, it's all a business. Just pick one. You'll have the right tools in your toolbox. So whichever one you pick, it's going to require some of these tools. And if you have these tools, then you don't care about what it is. Whatever moves your spirit, go for it. You know how to validate that there's an opportunity there. Because I've taught you how to do you could do a feasibility analysis on the back of a napkin. It ain't anything complex. It's some simple stuff. What is it? What do I think are the strengths and weaknesses of what I have? What's the opportunities and threat? Like, I can do that and just kind of do it in bullet points and determine if it's something that I should explore further. So I just unpacked a bunch of stuff to make it accessible for people. Because
Right.
what I don't like is when people try to make things more complex than they need to be. Because then they try to limit access to the information. And I'm all about kicking down doors. And I want you to have accessibility to the knowledge, because I really want you to stand on my shoulders and get to some other stuff. I don't want you to spend 30 years learning the stuff that I've already had to master. Let me give you that Cliff Notes version. There's some more stuff that needs to be accomplished in this world. So we got to kind of boost you to go forward in some ways.
That's amazing. That's exactly what I wanted to hear you talk about, getting that foundation, boosting people. That is what it means when the universe works in your favor. It works in your favor when you rest your mind. You know, I don't know. I've said this every show. I think that accountability person, find somebody. You got to find somebody, because we don't do this by ourselves. Find somebody, find your tribe, find your people, so that you can say what you need to say and get it out there and speak your truth. And then when you do that, continue to work on those foundational principles. You got to get the basics. And if it takes baby steps to get the basics, then that's the way you get it. You crawl before you walk. And that's fine. That's what life is about. It's a learning opportunity. So we're not all out here just like come out running. Maybe Bolt did, but Usain Bolt or something, but that was his gift. That's not everybody's gift. So get your foundational information in your journey, and then let the universe just work in your favor as you come into your own. And I think that's a great place for us to close out. I'm excited about what's going to work in your favor with Zimbali today.
Yeah. So I want to leave them. Your lesson for today was gratitude. And so I'm just going to give them 3 points, because, you know, in our book, The Science of Getting Rich, Wallace Wattles has an entire chapter on gratitude, but there's 3 points that he makes that I would like to leave to support that lesson. He says the whole process of mental adjustment can be summed up in one word: gratitude. First, you believe that there is one intelligent substance from which all things proceed. Second, you believe that this substance gives you everything you desire. And third, you relate yourself to it by a feeling of deep and profound gratitude.
Amazing. So that is a wonderful place to close out today. And I got to tell you, that's really just the universe saying that that's the message that needs to be heard, because that's what we're supposed to talk about tomorrow. But so tomorrow, you're going to have to get AJ.
Bet. Oh, you know what? I may or may not have her, because she's checking into a new hotel, but I'm going to Treasure Beach. But let me tell you who I will have. I'm spending a day with the owner of Pelican Lookout.
Nice.
So maybe I'll get a little cameo with her.
That would be nice. And then on Thursday, I think we'll have Greg Sneed talking some financial literacy and sharing about some of the work that he has. So we'll have some surprises for you. If we don't have anyone tomorrow, it'll be us, and we will always be talking gratitude, because that is how we have to live our lives. We got to be thankful for all of the ups and downs, because that is how we do our journey. That's how we make it.
Well, wonderful. Well, I am going to say, see you later, and I will see you first thing tomorrow.
Thanks
I'll tell you about Zimbali dinner tonight.
Yes, I know dinner's going to be even more amazing than lunch. But the only thing is, hopefully you guys still get up there early enough to see the lunch.
He's going to grab us at 4. So it'll be until some daylight. Yeah.
Good. That's great. All right. Well, enjoy your day.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Gratitude, everyone. Bye-bye.